Welcome back to the Core Studio. And today we have Minesweeper, recurring guests. We had him back in, I believe, November of 2025, and also known as the Valve leaker, but if you guys didn't know. A lot of things have happened in the past 5-6 months, I would say, of Deadlock, and a lot of new stories have come out. So wanted to ask you some questions and see what's your thoughts on the future of Deadlock, at least for 2026 at least, and see, because there's been a lot of rumors going around. I know last time you said you were hopeful that the open beta would come out in, I believe, summer. Do you still think it's hopeful for that, or do you think the time might change?
I think we're still sticking to that, especially if you consider the skin pack that's coming out that I showed, I think this week or last week. I don't even know how long it was at this point. If you're doing a summer skin pack, it's kind of obvious that this is what they intend to launch the game with, and get their first round of funding from this quick pack. Either that or a battle pass. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the first battle pass will be summer themed. Regardless, they're not going to monetize a closed alpha, so that kind of intends, it shows their intention, as well as the fact that there's just not a lot left for the game. It's just a lot of QOL stuff. So, I mean, you really can't be far off from now.
So, do you think they were going to go through the CS route where it's going to be loot boxes and everything, or is there not going to be any loot boxes at all? Or are they going with the whole battle pass and any other ways of going with when it comes to skins?
I think the battle pass theme is kind of unavoidable, especially with the success that they have with Dota. It won't be, I think, just like a linear Fortnite style where you're level 1 and you go to level 100 and you get all the rewards. I think because it's Valve, it'll be a little bit more interactive than that and have cool lore. I think Dota Underlords has a good example of what their battle pass renditions look like, so you can pull that up if you want. But no, I think the battle pass theme is kind of unavoidable. In terms of gambling and cases and stuff like that, it's really tough for them to implement that kind of stuff. I heard some rumors that there would be something related to like Sinner Sacrifice and like a slots way, but I haven't seen that come to light from anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I know because right now they're currently going through a lawsuit with like a bunch of different areas in the country now regarding that. So I'm assuming they're kind of avoiding, because I mean, if you look at CS, they haven't really come out with cases anymore. It's more just like it's not really a loot box crate anymore. It's like something different. They offer you a skin, and if you want it, you get it. If not, you're not gonna get it. It looks like they're kind of killing the whole loot box situation. I don't know if it's because of legally or they just don't want to do it anymore. But I also saw, like, it was bouncing off of that. I also saw that you were talking about something regarding Risk of Rain, like a game mode, like a PvE mode. Do you mind going deeper with that? Because I know they have some of the creators of Risk of Rain too. So I wanted to know, like, how would that translate into Deadlock, a MOBA of some sorts, to a PvE?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am not a Team Fortress player, so I can't speak on man versus machine, but I've played my fair share of Risk of Rain. And essentially, from what I've heard, and this is also... one second. This is also from just like my experience with Risk of Rain, but from the description and from the way that the map looks, that was shown to me, it's basically the same format of Risk of Rain where you spawn in and it's kind of in a COD Zombies fashion. You're just killing waves and waves of enemies. Right now they're described as monsters. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen the monsters myself. The map was kind of empty, just like a fly through of it. But you kill the monsters to get your souls as usual, and then rather than going to an item shop, you open crates that are scattered around the map, it seems, and you use items from those crates to get stronger. And then I believe there's an area that's hidden, and I can't really tell what's inside there, but I'm assuming there's a sort of shrine, and that shrine is the sort of the boss fight for the level, in the same way that Risk of Rain 2 has a teleporter, and you have to clear that to unlock the next level and keep going up the tower.
Okay, and would they be using this also? Because I remember I believe you were saying something about, like, this might be tied to skins also. So, like, they would, like, do a reward of some sorts. Would they also be doing it in, like, tier lists where, like, some skins are just very much more rare than the others? Or is it more like everything's going to be, like, one tier when it comes to the skins also? Because it looks like that's the hot topic right now, because I know mods are a big thing, like the skin mods are a big thing, and I feel like when open beta happens, all the skin mods are going to be gone. So do you think Valve is going to also crack down on that sorts also when it comes to open beta?
Crackdown on what? Sorry.
On the skin mods.
Oh, the skin mods. No. You can find clips of people using mods in Dota. CS is a little harder because that game relies a lot on like hitboxes and stuff. I think it's less important. Like, seeing around a corner or whatever isn't as crazy as it is in CS for this game. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can still use skin mods like you can in League and in Dota. I don't think they're going to be, because it's not going to stop people from spending money. People spend money on a skin because they want other people to see the skin. They want to flex. That's the point of the mod is it's only for you.
Okay. Yeah, and it seems like it because everyone I saw a lot of concerns online with people because they're making commissions of these skins, and now that that it's happening in the open beta soon because they're releasing skins like you said, people are gonna assume like they're gonna start cracking down on it. So you're saying that Valve is aware that there are a lot of mod skins, but they don't really care about that because they know people are still gonna buy their own skins.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that's the way that it's worked before.
Okay. And because staying on the topic of open beta, are we expected to get any more new game modes? I know we have Street Brawlers that came out like a couple months ago. Do you think we're going to be coming out with any more new modes, or is there going to be a normal and ranked mode? What are we expecting to come with the open beta, or is it just open beta still the same game?
I would hope that with the player count of the open beta, we get enough to separate the queue into casual and ranked, although they haven't. That's just my hope that nothing's come out to support that. In the past, I've seen discussions about capture the flag and payload, and we have stuff in the game files to indicate they have tried and worked on those. It just doesn't look like they were able to make it work. And so at this time, I don't think that's something they're moving forward with. Until I see like the screenshot of the menu with a new play button for new mode, I would assume that Street Brawl and Main are all we're going to get.
Okay. That makes sense. Alrighty. I mean, it seems like we're still very far away from 1.0 update for anything.
Yeah.
At least for another year, you would say, right?
No, I'd be pushing it. They move fast.
So that's also the question I was asking also last time is I know Valve is they're already working on a lot of other things. I know there's CS department, there's the Dota and Deadlock. Have they also put more effort since the last time we spoke was about 5 months ago into Deadlock now, or is it still about the same effort they're still putting in when it comes to developing it and adding more content and working on promotions to the game?
Well, right now they're on vacation, so I would say they're on like 20%. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that they've slowed down. Regardless, I would say, however, they have been recruiting people to the team rather than letting people go. Like the team's been getting bigger. I can't say who they've recruited, but a lot of community members and people that do contract work are now on the game. For these art assets, and they're not directly, connected to Valve in any sense, but they're just contracted for extra work. That's what I've heard through the rumor mill. So, if anything, they're including more people on the project.
Okay, so they're getting people from the actual community to actually get involved in this, and not only that. Yeah. I mean, is it a common practice that they do to just get more people to contract to work for them, more than in-house?
I'm not too familiar with the way the Valve does things, and if I was like a TF2 player or something like that, I'd be able to tell you. For Counter-Strike, they do have the skin, like the workshop thing, and so I believe if your skin's good enough and received well enough on the workshop, you can get it in the game. So I guess in a sense, yeah, but I don't think you're paid on contract for that. I think if you're just selected, you'll be paid like some money, some like $50,000 or something.
Okay.
And they use your skin.
So I know also when it comes to CS, people submit stuff in the community market and like the community workshop, and then Valve eventually adds it. I know recently they blatantly came out as like, hey, submit any skins that you guys have, and the best ones get into the game. Do you think they're also gonna start doing that when skins eventually start coming to the game? Also, they'll just openly say it and they'll just pay people some amount, like how they do with CS.
That's pretty much what they're doing right now, I would say.
Okay. Oh, so they're actively already working with the community and picking.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say for certain, and I can't say who But if it is true, what I've heard, and I mean, with the quality of work these days, like you've seen the Shiv remodel, right, and the Holiday remodel, there's definitely some talented people out there that can match the art style.
Okay.
I feel like that speaks for itself.
All right, that's good to hear. At least they're getting the community involved, people who are like really passionate about the game. Speaking of passionate, no, the esports scene, it hasn't really changed as much. Maybe like the prize pool has gotten bigger regarding that. And recently we saw the whole bug situation with Abrahams and how they were able to bug the souls and everything, and it was patched within 2 hours. Does that mean that the Valve staff members are also like keeping eye on the esports community team? Because I know you said last time they could care less about the esports at the moment because that's not their priority. Do you think they're actually looking into it and looking more advances into the esports scene going into open beta?
I think both statements can be true. They don't make the game with esports in mind. I feel they don't bounce around, the top 500 players. They do heavily, appreciate their input, but in a sense, they're very active with their community. When they added the Lash parry animation from Joey and then the Mina parry, those are both like off stream. Like Jamal Bradley was literally in Joey's stream, and so I've been told that they have Night Shift open at the office sometimes, and they're watching it. I feel like that was great evidence for it. It was last week's Night Shift, but in that same vein, they don't typically put Night Shift at the forefront or whatever esports plans they have, because there are other tournaments that are playing now. They're making the game to appeal to an audience of like 1 million players at launch, 1 million people consecutively or concurrently. So when you do something like that, it's a very fine balance as well. It's really hard to get it right. To get a game where I feel like Fortnite was the last game that really did this. To get a game that's competitively viable with huge prize pools and huge viewership, and still have a 5-year-old be able to play it on his like little Nintendo Switch,
Yeah. So when it comes to that, so they are esports is inevitable when it comes to Dota. It seems like it's going to be inevitable when it comes to a lot of teams are going to get involved and all that. So they understand that the esports scene will grow as the game grows, especially when it comes to open beta. But it's not the forefront, like you said. They are very active. I mean, this is the most active I've ever seen Valve when it comes to any of their products, to be honest with you. What do you think is like the motivation for them to being so active compared to like if they were active to Dota and the CS scene? Like, what makes Deadlock so much different than those two other games?
Well, I feel like we've already stated this before. I think it should be common knowledge at this point that this is the first IP they've had that they built from the ground up, and I think they started in 2018. This is Ice Frog's like love child. I feel like the work that he did for Dota 2 over the fucking 18 years that he's been on that project was mostly just like, this is my job and I have to do it. But this is Yoshi's, and this is Ice Frog's, chance to go out there and build something from the ground up with his own attachments, with his own art team, with his own, gameplay design. And for that reason, they're obviously very attached to the product, and they're very happy to see the reaction to it, and more so than they would with something like CS or Dota that are just purchased IPs that they've worked on over the last 20 years.
So it's a lot of love coming into it. That's why they're taking more than anything, like we said, I believe we said last time, they're taking their time because a lot of people are always there's a lot of comparison to it be rivaling with League, but I believe you said last time it was they don't look at League as a competitor, they look at themselves, they're competing with themselves, not with others. Is that still the same statement you still believe by?
I mean, look at League and look how slow they are with making things happen. They took all this time to get WASD so that new players could get into the game, and it did fuck all for them. And then they said, well, we're going to make League 2.0 basically, and we're going to update this 20-year-old client that has been in use since 2009. And then what do they have to show for that? I mean, that might come out next year if we're lucky. Like, I think lucky's not even the right word to describe the right dev team. But no, there is no studio in this world that really can compete with them in terms of multiplayer experiences. and even with single player, honestly, like Alex was crazy in the Half-Life series with the HLX that they're gonna drop soon is just, it's like mind-boggling how these guys operate. I really don't think that there's room in any conversation for League at this point.
So do you think that because it seems like League has been pushing a lot of updates to try see it, do you think that Riot sees Deadlock as a big competitor? Like it's going to not kill League, but to really hurt its player base. I made a tweet about this a while ago saying that in 2 years' time, Deadlock might overtake League because of how much updates they're coming out with. A little bit crazy of a tweet, but I still believe by that Deadlock will surpass League. Do you think so? Like not in 2 years' time, maybe in some time that when open beta comes out and all these rumors about a Risk of Rain like PVE and the skin market and all that. Do you think that in how long do you think before Deadlock really just overtakes it and you'll see like all the League players and everyone just migrate all over to Deadlock?
I think if they do a big push in the summer for open beta, and to Valve, I've said this before, I think I said it on your podcast, to Valve, open beta is release. It's a 1.0, it's a polished product. It's something they're ready to show the world. It might as well be released, but they just don't use that title. I don't know if you know, but Fortnite was early access or beta for like 2018 to 2022. I don't even know. It was like a legal loophole that they were able to exploit. But regardless, people are like scared of this open beta title because it's not released. It's not the game's not done yet. But it's for all intents and purposes. Summer could be the time where you see a massive hit. And to answer your question, yes, like I don't think they would have rushed to implement this League 2.0 thing or WASD or any of the improvements they've been making if they didn't see Deadlock as a threat. Because without Deadlock, Dota 2 is not growing, right? And Dota 2 has always been alongside League. There's no reason for them to push, That game is very, very old. It was made in 2009, right? They have better things to be working on until their cash cow is threatened, right? They can't work on their whatever MMO game or I don't know what bullshit Riot is making now, an extraction shooter or something. They can't focus on that if League is going to take a hit to their profits because League is what makes them money. Well, Valorant also, but I mean, like half it is League.
Yeah. Okay, so like you can definitely sense that Riot feels like Deadlock is a threat, even though like when it comes to employee count, Valve is still operating around about 300 people, while Riot Games has a few thousand. It's still insane that like it shows that it's not about the number of people; it's really about who is working on a game. And it was a big push. You could definitely tell when they recruited the creators of Risk of Rain. Was that like also like? Was it more of a hesitant, do you think, for them? Or do you think they instantly said, yeah, like, hell yeah? Because they're going from a roguelite to a MOBA. So did you think that it was also like a little bit interesting that they're recruiting a roguelite team, basically, to get into a MOBA? So it means like the game is not only going to be a MOBA. They're making this into a everything kind of thing. So it is a MOBA title, but do you think like they're not thinking it like, oh, it's only going to be a MOBA. It's going to be everything when it comes to it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the point of starting the new IP because they could have done this with Dota, I guess, if they could have just made like a Dota 3. But Dota 3 wouldn't have the room to do something like this. And I think we've also been over this before. I don't know if it was last session, but Deadlock Project 8 posted a quote from someone, I don't remember who this was, that was friends with people at Valve who knew IceFrog personally. And in that interview, he said, Deadlock is IceFrog's magnum opus. This is more than a MOBA. They have so much planned for the future. And I think we're starting to see the light on that now. They have everything that they need to make a game with like 1 million concurrent players. They've done it before. I don't even believe really that CS is 1 million concurrent players. Realistically, I think it's more like 250,000 and 750,000 bots, but that's a different question.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of issues regarding CS anyways. It seems like CS is slowly becoming the forgotten child. The child that nobody really they're not really caring for. It seems like most people are like, at least like even with the jokes around, it seems like most of the Valve studios is just they want to work on Deadlock instead of just CS. I mean, why
would you not want to?
Yeah. I think it also comes back to the community. I think for the most part, like the Deadlock community is like, it's still young. So again, there's always like a lot can change, but it seems like it's more grateful than the CS community. Do you think like Valve also keeps track of that, like how aggressive the CS community could be compared to the Deadlock, and that kind of sways their way on what to work on? Also,
I don't think the Valve is one to care about community reaction.
in what way do you mean by that? Like, do you think like?
Well, like they push bullshit changes, like the reload thing to CS, where it's now mags instead of bullets, and they just do something that's game changing like that, and they just throw it out there, and everyone says, "Oh, fuck you, Valve! Why would you do this? I hate this. Oh, CS2 sucks. Oh, I want to go back to CS:GO." They just keep doing their own thing. Like they don't read the replies to any of their updates.
Oh, okay. So it's more like internal. Like they think, like they're very when they come out with updates, they're very confident in these kind of updates when it comes to that kind of stuff. Or is it more like they're releasing it more like, all right, let's test this out and see how it goes?
Frankly, I wish I knew what was going on in their minds. I don't really know. I just know what they work on.
Okay. I got you. Just to wrap it up, just a few things. Is there anything that hasn't been leaked yet that the podcast would be the first this is the first time people would be hearing about this if it would be leaked? Is there something that's coming out that we need to know leading up to the open beta, or like you said, the open beta is basically 1.0?
Yeah, one thing I can tell you, let me pull it up here. Unfortunately, the Cheshire shit was fake. It looks like because the Cheshire cat, that was not a real hero, or either he's already scrapped. And for the most part, all those heroes are scrapped. But the one that is still alive somehow is Earhart. I guess they're really intent on making Earhart a thing. She was the one that dropped a present on people. Do you remember that? That ability's in the game now. Some people from Deadlock modding have been able to pull it out of the source code, but yeah, I don't know what that was an item in Fortnite. No, you could drop a present on someone.
Yes.
And you could like break it open and grab the shit. I think that's what they're doing now. Something weird like that. And she still floats around. She's got her jetpack or whatever. So I'm excited to see. I really miss Skyrunner though. I really wish they finished Skyrunner because he looked pretty sick.
So do you think also before that, do you think we're going to be getting a voting system like we did for the past few hero releases? Do you think that's going to be coming out soon, or do you think we're not going to be getting that for a while? When it comes to that,
a hero system or voting system for what?
Like to you know how we had it for like the last time with like Venator, Rem, and Graves. We had like
no.
We're not getting that for a while.
There's no heroes ready right now. There's like they're not even working on heroes right now.
Okay, so no new heroes for at least like a while. Don't even.
Yeah, I mean, I would know about it by now. We knew about Rem, I think in like September, and he released in January. So unless this is like an August thing, it's gonna be farther away.
Okay, noted. Alrighty, but thank you guys for coming on, Minesweeper. I appreciate it. And if you want to check out all his socials, everything is down below. I appreciate you guys for watching, and goodbye. Thank you guys for watching.
Cheers, guys.
All right.